Hello and good morning from our studios here in Farato. Well, good evening, good afternoon, wherever you will be watching or you may be watching us. This is Atlantic TV, the home of TV Revolution, and we are located in the little smiling coast of Africa, the Gambia, and our studios here in Farato, the west coast region side of Gambia. Another episode of your exclusive interview, me and myself, Big Sam International. Bakary Manneh, aka Big Sam International. And today, a very inspiring and a very wonderful guest, and I'm so happy that I got the man himself right here with me. And on this exclusive interview, we bring prominent people, their life history, what they do and where they are, depending on whatever industry you are. And today, I would like to unveil my guest to you, no other than the Gambia's very own Saihou Bojang, called Saihou Bojang, a household name in the industry, of course, the culinary industry, and that is no other than Saihou Bojang. Kaifa Hisan Alaji. Kaifa
Alhamdulillah.
Bismillah. Welcome to exclusive interview here at Atlantic TV.
Merci. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. As you rightly say, wherever you're watching from. I am Saihou Bojang here live on Atlantic TV, located in Farato, the Gambia. I hope you will gain some stuff from us. Yeah. Obviously, he's been pushing so hard before he could get me to be here today.
Most definitely.
But alhamdulillah that we made it possible. And today, obviously, is destined for Atlantic TV. It's called the home of what?
TV Revolution.
Here we go.
Thank you very much. That is Saihou Bojang. Of course, Saihou Bojang is the real name. Well, Saihou Bojang, how it comes, he will tell us. And also, we want him to say Alhaji Saihou Labaika. Thank you very much. Exclusive interview. So, but before we go, maybe you have your fans, the Gambian public, and your family, and your staffs that are watching. Maybe you can say a hi and good morning to them. Yeah. And my viewers in general.
Yeah. That's actually very, very important because my name is not up there by myself. It's people who made it who I am. Yeah. And obviously my people, my staff, my fan base, my fans all over the world, I'm saying good morning to you and hope you had a wonderful breakfast, dinner, lunch or supper, whichever you had. Make sure you enjoy to the fullest because I'm here to also drop you one or two recipes that you may go home with before the end of the interview.
That's true. And in fact, I don't have my breakfast, so I'm going to follow Saihou Bojang for my breakfast. So you just better. Okay, moving on. Exclusive interview right here. Who is Saihou Bojang? Some will say Saihou Bojang, but a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, this is pretty much easy, straightforward. I mean, my real name is Saihou Bojang. I mean, I'm, of course, Brikama, but origin of Kafuta, Jaresu Kankanambanku. So that's where our heritage came from. So I am Saihou Bojang.
Saihou Bojang. Yeah. All right. A little bit background, education background, and some of the work experience in the Gambia first, because we are moving out of Gambia and coming back. But before we move out of Gambia, tell us a little bit education background and your work experience.
Right. I started off. I did Piram Primary, you know. Then Kafuta also. I did my grade 6 in Kafuta Primary School. Then came back to Brikama, wherein I did Foster Junior Secondary School. Then headed to Buttrop Technical Training Institute, I think it was Buttrop School, High School. And then from there, I pretty much did, what do you call it, pharmaceutical or pharmacy assistant work. And of course, I've also been doing voluntary work in various environments, like for example in hospitals, through the Red Cross as a volunteer, and where I also had my little training as a pharmacy assistant or a dispenser. Wow. And of course I did also trainings on nursing, bedside nursing as well, just as a passion that I had to become a medical practitioner. So all I had to start with was going through the medical system, which is from training as a volunteer, learning the skills and the trade on-job experience to become a great person in the field that I chose. but obviously we all choose our patterns, but what we are destined to is what we eventually will head on to. Yeah. So now here.
Yeah. Okay, but yes, that's a very good one. So many people might know him in the food industry, but look the past where he passed through. And people in Brikama, most of them know Saihou from the Red Cross and the hotel. Okay, before you move out of the Gambia to travel, what was your permanent work and where were you working?
I would say I wasn't permanently at one place because I was pretty much doing a lot of things.
Oh, okay.
I was also working at Brikama Health Center.
Oh, okay.
And also I was also working at the Combo Beach Hotel as well.
Yeah, Novotel.
Novotel, and I was also doing some side hustles, business and stuff like that. So I've never been, that person who is literally catered what environment. Okay. So I've been going through a lot of paths of life just to become a great person, And then, like I said, you are destined to something.
Okay.
Your choice could be something.
Okay.
But what you are destined to is what you head on to.
At the end of the day.
So that's what happened. So basically, when I was here in the Gambia, I was doing even cashew business.
Okay.
The
side hustling.
The side hustling. So we are who we are, and then we have to break through.
Okay.
I've always been that self-motivated, self-inspired, and I've also been very, very hardworking, regardless of what environment I am in.
Okay.
I make sure I make the best out of whatever I do. So I was doing 2 jobs at the same time, as well as also doing side hustles, to keep me going, which obviously paid off really. Because like we said, as Gambians, we always believe that somebody out there is, should be the one to help you in your life.
Exactly.
But I never believed that. I've always said, if it's to be, I have to be the one to get this done. No one is going to come from anywhere to help me be who I want to be. Okay. So my pattern has always been me directing myself to my road to success.
Okay.
I've always had one mission, and that is also called my vision, and I call it focusing on what matters makes you matter.
Focusing on what matters
makes you matter.
Yeah. Well, guys, learned that, right? Okay. Now, we know, or I know, and many people close to you know that you travel outside the Gambia, and you've been staying outside the Gambia for quite a while before you return back. Tell us your journey outside, and where were you based, and what were you doing?
Yes, I traveled to United Kingdom, that is in the UK, and I was in Reading, which is Reading.
Okay.
So Reading, I initially, when I got there, before having to get myself into what I want to do, which is the biomedical science, because my elder brother was doing the same thing, so I wanted to follow suit what he was doing. Okay. But we didn't go the same uni. And at some point, he was at Reigate and I was in Reading. So, but then of course, as an international student, you will always have to work hard extremely to be able to pay your own tuition fees.
Tuition fees.
So I was working in a hotel called Holiday Inn Hotel as a receptionist,
Okay.
So when just to be able to pay my tuition fees.
Tuition fee, okay.
So when I was there, and then somebody fell sick in the kitchen, and they asked for any volunteer. I just said yes. I'll volunteer to be to go and help cooking the breakfast.
As the Gambian hustling thing is
still
in you.
Man, the hustle was, the hustling was in me still, and I've always been that vibrant person, that just a go-getter. Okay. So when I get to be taken to the kitchen, and then I tried, they trained me a little bit. Then I didn't know even how to do a fried egg and omelette.
Oh, yeah?
Nah, I didn't know any of those things.
From the reception to the kitchen?
Yeah, straight. And then, they showed me how to do different types of fried eggs and stuff like that. At some point, I built interest, and I'm like, wow, this is something good. So I'm like, in my head, the Kamarakundas and the Jatas.
It's about the food I was coming to. It's about the food that attracts you.
All these people, they'll be like, yeah, because of food. Of course. I said to myself, I'm in the kitchen. Yeah. So I need not to worry about feeding myself when I get home. So I make sure I eat to my neck.
To your neck.
Just like the Kamaras and the Jatas and the Jais.
And the Sisakundas and all that, yeah.
So I decided to say, okay, I'll keep this job. And I pushed. Then, as a performer, really. And the management saw that I was really doing well.
Okay.
They actually approached me to say, you know what, you're doing very well in the kitchen. Would you want us to sponsor you to go and do a cooking course? You know, to become, and I'm like, hey.
And this was in Reading?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I was like, you know, if it is going to be free and
you're not paying any dime.
Yeah, so then they said to me, yeah, we're more than happy to sponsor you to go and, you know, pursue a professional degree in, you know, cookery. I'm like, okay. So that's where everything started.
Wow.
Yeah, and then I believe it's all about being so hardworking and going by my motto, which is focusing on what matters makes you matter. So
that's right.
you are a matter now because you are an important icon or an important person within that environment. That makes you the matter.
The matter.
Right? So you've been focusing on what matters. What matters is what is good for you for your tomorrow.
For your tomorrow.
That's what matters. And that makes you matter for many. So then I was like, okay, great. So I started up at Reading College.
Okay.
You know, professional cookery. And then, alhamdulillah, things went well. Then they saw that I was really doing well.
Okay.
You know, and then they said to me, you know,
the hotel or the school?
The hotel.
The hotel, okay.
So they decided, like, okay, because I was kind of like a pilot project. I was a project for them.
For the
hotel.
Yeah.
So I didn't see it as a project. To me, it was like, you know what, I am doing good for myself and my future.
Yeah.
So I don't need to pay for anything.
But the hotel was piloting you.
So for them, it's like, it's something they can always boast with.
Okay.
You know. So I'm like, okay, let's do this. I did well. When I finished Reading College, they approached me again. Would you want to do? Would you want us to sponsor you to go and do a degree in a university? I'm like, whoa. I said, well, I would love to. And then they said to me, okay, but there are terms and conditions.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So when that got mentioned, I was like, whoa. So I'm not sure what they're going to come out.
They're going to come out with, yeah.
So when they got me to a table wherein I've got the general manager, the HR, and the operations manager, we had a table, or we sat down to discuss on how things goes. So they told me all the ins and outs of the university process.
Okay.
Which I said okay, and then they said to me, okay, but what's more important here is there is a term and condition that obviously you have to abide by before we can actually go ahead, but you must sign that. I'm like, okay.
That's the university?
Yeah, I mean, that's from the institution. That means
from the institution itself,
the hotel.
Okay.
It's called the IHG, Intercontinental Hotel Group.
Hotel Group, okay.
So they said to me, okay, and I asked, what is it? They said, well, inside of me, I was panicking, really.
Okay, because you don't know what they're coming up with.
So, you know, they said to me, you know, we're going to sponsor you to go and do your degree, your bachelor's degree.
Okay.
And, but you must come back and work for us for 2 years.
For how many years?
2 years.
2 good years, okay.
So I'm like, that's the condition? They said yes. I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I was
thinking different.
I was thinking differently.
Differently.
I started processing in my head. I'm like, these people are literally spoiling me now.
Yeah.
I'm going to the university and I'm going to chew every single paper because whatever comes, I must just chew it.
You must chew it.
But I've always been a performer, even in school. Those of you who know about me, obviously in schools, you know that I've always been that intelligent student. I've always been in the first 5 from grade 1 up to my last day of being in school.
Exactly.
So I went, okay, this is great. So in my head, I'm like, okay, so these people are telling me that they're going to sponsor me, so meaning they're going to get me a scholarship to go and read to become a professional chef. After, they're saying to me that they're going to employ me by force. And in that employment, I'm going to get paid a high
this
salary.
Is what I was thinking.
And I'm like,
a good salary for that money.
Yeah, I was like, if it was in the Gambia, I would have started jumping around and dancing. But let me keep my dancing to myself because this is really too good, you know, to comprehend. To be real. I'm like, no. In my country, people struggle to get jobs after education.
Education.
So now they're telling me that I'm going to get education for free.
For free.
And I'm going to get paid.
Paid at the end of the day.
Job. Wow. So I'm like, okay, then let it be. And that's how it all started. So they took me to Westminster Uni.
Yeah.
So where I did my bachelor's degrees in. So of course I specialized because I wanted to do more of menu engineering and gastronomy.
Okay.
So when you look at menu engineering and gastronomy, it's more to do with food and culture. So these are the things that I've really been focusing on.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's a little bit about me when I was away back in the UK.
Back in the UK. All right, Saihou Bojang, that's a good history. And then he came back to the Gambia with all the, how do you call it, with all that knowledge and all that, when you come back to the Gambia, before you set up Spice, of which we are coming very soon, but you're coming to the Gambia with all that experience. Where do you work, or were you on contract? And a little bit that before we come to.
Yeah, I mean, the decision I made to come home is based on the gastronomy part of it.
Okay.
Which is the food and culture.
Culture.
Because when I was doing my thesis, there's something I did, and what I wrote about even more to do with my country. And this was one of it, the main of it is to do with food and who you are. So you are what you eat.
Okay.
And when we say you are what you eat, it's more to do with whatever, mainly your health is determined by your consumption or whatever you consumed.
Okay.
So in the UK, I've seen that watermelon seeds, pumpkin seeds, mango seeds, papaya seeds, and lime leaves, banana leaves, all this have been very utilized in the UK, and they're very expensive.
Okay.
But in my country, they throw them in the bin. So I'm like, no. When I go, inshallah, I want to do something with all these things.
And revive them back.
Yeah, so this is the main motive of coming home. Because I had great jobs in the UK.
Okay.
Really, really good jobs. So when I came to the Gambia, I started up, what I wanted to do most was to do with raising awareness of what we have and how do we utilize them in the best way we can. But I didn't have the platform at the time because then it was only GRTS that was that I was communicating.
Okay.
But then for some reason I was only going by emails. I didn't have any direct contact.
Okay.
So I wouldn't get response, and I was like, okay. So when I got here, then I got linked to Senegambia Beach Hotel.
Okay.
So this the general manager at the time was Buna Manjai, who is now the CEO of owners of Bakary Hotel. He just said to me, we will want to take you on a trial. I'm like, okay, I would love to be tried before employed.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I got tried, did cook off and whatever, and then they were happy with whatever my production was. And then he actually said to me, you know what, I'm gonna take you to Senegambia Beach Hotel to be the first Gambian professional executive chef.
Wow.
I'm like, okay.
Congratulations,
yeah.
Saihou Bojang.
So I got taken there, and I had a contract for 1 year to start with.
Yeah.
Then, alhamdulillah, it went really, really well, and I brought so many changes to the hotel, and a lot of things happened that were all positive in line with what they needed me for. And they got me another contract for the following year. Okay. So I did 2 good years at Senegambia Beach Hotel as an executive chef, doing what I love to do, which is the cooking.
What you were doing with other hotels or restaurants too by then?
No, then I only I was only focused on Senegambia, because I didn't want to have any conflict of interest.
Okay, here and there.
So then Senegambia until when my second contract ended, I got hired by the Jaliba Lezo group, the Male Salah family.
Yes.
Male Salah Omar Jawara's group.
Yeah.
So
Tamala people.
Tamala. So to open up the new hotel they built at the time called Kalimba.
Yeah, Kalimba.
So the Kalimba hotel was my first hotel that I've actually said, this is all me to start with.
Okay.
As a chef, Okay.
Okay.
And then I was also working alongside you know, with Bakary, who's actually another great chef, a great brother of mine as well. He also did a lot of things from the UK, and he was back in the UK at the time. So we were working alongside. I was floating between Kalimba and Tamala. We were doing the cooking and production in the same place. So alhamdulillah, things went well, and then COVID came. Bye-bye to all those beautiful things, and then I decided to become a consultant, you know, more to do with SOPs, recipe development, and, you know, kitchen setups, and also startup kits for everything. Then I decided to come up with something different for myself.
That's what we're coming. After all that, Spice Hub became, and then you talked about your interest in your speech, back in the UK, as you have been in the food industry, and then you started. Name Saihou Bojang came when you were internationally as the first Gambian. We all know that. Now let's talk about what we want to talk about before the interview, and that is Spice Hub, which is now a brand name in the Gambia. Saihou Bojang, the CEO, the owner, and now we are talking about two. I want you to know, we have Spice Hub in Senegal, and now we have it at the only place called Alliance Franco Gambia along Caraba. Spice Hub, how does it come? A little bit on that before, because we don't have much time on this, but then give us a little bit on that.
Yeah, Spice Hub is the hub. When you say hub, is the core. That's how I came about. So the hub is the core of anything. Now the spice is not by the heat of the spices. It's more about the flavors. So like ginger is a spice, cinnamon is a spice, but you know, you cannot tell people that this is very spicy, but they're flavorings, you know. So Spice Hub came as a pilot project to test run my idea of gastronomy, and then that has now proven, you know, to the whole country and even beyond. Because right now, one of the most trending restaurants in Holland and Belgium. In fact, as we speak today, all the viewers, I can task you to go and, even on Google review, go on Google and type in Spice Hub Gambia, and you see the reviews yourself. Because right now, it's the only restaurant that is on 4.9. Within the environment, you know, and with great reviews from all over our customers that comes in to dine. So Spice Hub is more to do with how do we now take our heritage cuisine to the next level. How do we build it? It's like a revolution, bringing our lost heritage cuisines back and giving them that heat to be able to match the international standards. So there's a whole idea of Spice Hub coming in this way, because I believe that we've got things that we can use in our country without having to import much. Because like I say, if you come to my restaurant, most of the items are not outsourced internationally.
They are within.
Yeah, they are within. So now go seasonal. You know, whatever I go to the market I get, that's what I use as an ingredient to enhance my flavors. So that's how Spice Hub is built on, and Spice Hub concept is more to do with heritage traditional cuisine, giving a tune to attract the international clientele and international market.
And now we're
with the local flavors.
We're talking about two.
Alhamdulillah.
Locations.
One is on, let's say, Senegambia branch, which is directly opposite Tropic Shopping Center, or the Tropic Mall, directly opposite on the road going into Kololi Police. So we're like 100 meters away from Tropic opposite. Then the second one is on Kairaba Avenue or Westfield. That's like Alliance Franco or Alliance Française, the Banjul.
It's next to Serekunda West Park.
Yeah, so just directly opposite the new Jar Oil on that Kairaba Avenue, yes. Yeah.
Wow, let's, what is the most, because what is the most important message you want to send across to the channel of all my viewers?
Beautiful. Be cautious of your intake, food that you eat. There are loads of additives all over. But be careful, because what belongs to you will always be you. And what I mean by this, like, let's go back to our heritage cuisine. Then we become who we were, not who we want to be. The reason why I'm saying this is because today Gambians, we are living in a life of foreign life. our bodies are foreign because we eat foreign.
Exactly.
So when we say you are what you eat, it's like whatever you eat makes you who you are. Now look at it. Now when my full-up family, and when they said, okay, there'll be no bread tomorrow, the whole country is in trouble.
Yeah.
But look at it back in the days, let me say when I was a kid, bread, we don't even care if they bake it or they're not.
Yeah, we don't.
We have our malabutanga, we have our ruiz, we have our mono, our dukula, and the likes.
Yeah.
But today, the one that consumes that is seen as a low-class person, when that person actually is the one doing the right thing. Because now, look at our bodies. One thing I'll give you now, an example is, why I talk about gastronomy most of the time, about who you are as to what you eat. We are foreign. The day that you are asked to go back to who you were is when you fall sick, because that's natural.
Yeah.
Now, when you're sick, your body will force you to go and eat whatever traditional or ethnic group you come from, that food. If you're in Jago, it will ask you to even go to Premontao or Unad, whatever it is, you go and eat that.
Yeah.
If you're a Mandinga or somebody, you go and eat Bukolo or Kuchadurang.
By force, you have to go down.
If you're a Jola, you go up by force to eat either Pemben, something like that. So your body is actually forcing you to go back to eat who you were, who you were.
You are.
So now you're refusing that. Why do we have to wait for our bodies to force us to go and get that? And the biggest message is, use food as your medicine and not medicine as your food.
As your food.
So this is the message I'm going to send out to you guys, to revisit your consumption, your eating patterns, your habits. There should be eating discipline in whatever we do. Because we have everything in this country when it comes to flavors, when it comes to ingredients. So it's all about how do we use these ingredients to become great food for our bodies.
Quite important, very important. Use the food, but don't use it as a medicine. I think that's we will not end this interview without definitely thanking, and then for you to tell the people, Saihou is one of the Chef Association head, and also what are some of the international, because we can use that as the last word, what are some of the international accolades? Because I mean, there were times people are flooding to Spice Up just for him to get his medal and stuff, and then have a picture with him. Tell us the association of this chef, what's your portfolio, and what are some of the international awards you won, and bring it to the Gambia before we go?
Wow, okay, so basically I've done a lot of things, because even before coming back to the Gambia, I've already won at least about 4 or 5 trophies in Europe, even Asia.
Wow, congrats.
And when I came home as well, I was also elected as president of the Gambia Chef Association, wherein I served for 2 terms. And I've led my team to international competitions since 2019, so 2018, 2019, up to 2023.
Wow.
So, and every single year when we go out of the country, we win big trophies and come home.
I know.
And then I will not say I'm the winner, but we are the winners.
The team.
So the team won, not as an individual, because as
and
an
Gambia
individual,
won.
yes, I cannot win.
Yeah.
I'm just me. And together we were able to come home with trophies that we all celebrating now, like be it the Jollof.
Yeah, the Jollof was the most hype one in the Gambia, the Jollof Grand competition.
You had the Jollof also, and of course, Best Chef for West Africa.
Wow.
Chef for Africa, and also went as a single person also to Togo for what we call Pan-African cooking competition, where I also won.
Wow.
And then also went to France for the Best of Gastronomy. Came home with 5 gold medals.
Whoa!
So, I mean, the Gambia,
marvelous.
But then that's not me. I don't like talking that.
So that's Gambia.
That's
but
more
we are
like,
proud of you.
It's more to do with. Of course, we need to see this to be able to inspire others.
Exactly,
because
that's what I want.
Someone can do even bigger and better than what I've done.
Yeah.
But just still comport yourself, lay low, and then be who you are. There's no need of having to, pull your shoulders up to say, I am this. We all can do it together. Let's learn the skill. In fact, one of the most important messages I want to send to the youths.
Exactly.
We rush into the money, forgetting about acquiring the knowledge and the skills. Because when we say we want a job, what job are you going to do? Now, what's important is go and acquire knowledge and skills. Once you get this, that will now translate into money.
Exactly.
But now, when we, for example, I'll take in my side, if I take somebody to train to become a chef, within 3 months, the person is looking for a job.
Wow.
So you didn't even spend time in becoming a great chef or the trade that you are training on. You already looking for work and said, I'll get experience on the job. Yes, you will, but you will not get the money that you're looking for. You will always be looking for work, and work will not be looking for you. But when you get the skills and the knowledge that is right for any employer, you'll be searched for wherever you are. So let's stop this. You training within 1 year, you think you are the best. No, it doesn't come like that. Me, Chef Bojang, before being who I am today, it has been over 15 years before I am who I am. And I'm now, down the line, now I've served at least 22 to 23 years as a chef.
Wow.
So you cannot compare yourself to me because you still got a long way to go.
Yep.
Plus, I've worked in at least 23 different countries before even coming home. You understand?
Yes.
So we need to build our capacity. We need to be strong in our skills. And we should always be performers. When we man or given any position, let's make sure we exercise the JOD or the TOR, the job description that we are given to the dot. Most of the times when we get employment, we are lazy. What can be done within 10 minutes, we want to take a whole day. That is wrong. The attitude towards work needs to change if we want to become successful. When you're given a job, make sure you do it to your best.
Thank you.
Do not be comparing yourself to anybody. We all live differently. Even a camera person. You training someone to be a cameraman, within 1 week, the following week, the person is now showing that they're even better than you.
So you see,
it's true.
This is directly for Ali and Co.
But this is what happens in our country.
Exactly.
Like for you, if you train someone to managing this studio, within 2 days, the person started high married of everything. You know what I mean? If you don't do it, how would you learn?
Definitely.
Because it's by doing, you are able to get all this knowledge and skills.
That's right.
But let's make sure we stop this, my brothers and sisters. If we want to grow, we need to be really, really respecting our seniors. You cannot go to Senegal. When someone is in the field, your boss is celebrated, your boss is respected, but here your trainee will come after when you are already set up everything.
Yeah.
The manager will come.
It touches somebody in the studio right now.
But the truth, it hurts, but you know,
but
it has to be said.
We have to put the record straight.
Many places.
We have to put the record straight.
If you go to many places, the manager will be in the office before the junior.
I opened the radio before my guys even came.
You know what I mean? And that
I do open Atlantic before Ali comes.
Like you see your let's say your junior will wait for you to carry the heaviest load before even he comes or she comes to join you. So we need to stop this to grow as a nation.
Very good message.
As a nation, we need to stop this.
Thank you.
Attitude towards what we do need changing to become productive, efficient, and in fact competent in whatever we are to do. This is what I want to put out there for you guys. Please, this is not about attacking anybody, but
set the record straight.
To make sure this is said for us to know that there's a reason why we are going backward, because we are always at the back.
So we need to be in the front.
We need to be in the front.
Thank you. Well, what a very inspiring speech from Saihou. I think my viewers definitely are happy with me. And then I dig deep. You know, you might have a little bit about Saihou Bojang, but today I dig deep to bring. This is what this program do. That's why we call it exclusive. If you know English, what exclusive means, everything within. Say thank you so much for coming. Allah just say, Bojang. Definitely, this is not going to be the first and the last. We will pass by in any other program for motivation, etc. So thank you for your time.
No, thank you for having me too.
And of course, viewers, thank you so much. And bye-bye from me and say, wave for them, wave them, wave them, wave them. Bye-bye.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, thank you. And thank you for my camera people. Edu, thank you very much. And of course, Aliu, Rocky B International absent, Saihou absent. Thank you so much. Bye-bye.